Hey Chelsea fans, welcome to CFC Unfiltered. I'm your host Anirudh, and CFC Unfiltered is a channel for Chelsea fans by a Chelsea fan. And in CFC Unfiltered, I will give you my honest and unfiltered reactions, thoughts, and analysis on all things Chelsea, be it transfers, be it rumors and stories emerging from the club or in and around the club, which affect the club in a positive or negative way, and giving you my pre-match and post-match thoughts. Right, and more importantly, asking for yours. So if you do like the channel, if you do like the content, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. This channel, this journey that we have started, is only a few days old. It's a very new channel. It needs all support it can get. So if you do like the content, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. And I'm sure you, if you do give it a shot, you will enjoy the content. So yeah, let's move to the video of the day. So in today's video, as you could see in the thumbnail, it's gonna be about the Garnacho situationship. I know, guys, you guys are excited about the Heto signing with Chelsea, and you're really excited about that. And you would maybe expect me to do a video on that, and I will do a video on that, maybe for the next video or the one after that, because it's just not about when I do a Heto video. I just don't want to be uh, doing a Heto video just for the sake of it. I want to tell you about what I think he brings to the table. What you can expect immediately and after that. So I want to go a bit into it. Give you slightly deeper into what we can expect from Hato in the upcoming seasons and the seasons after that. So that is something that needs a little bit of research. So I want to take a few hours before I do that. So it will most likely either be the next video or the one after that. And just because there is also maybe a here we go situation developing with Simmons, and there's also a Tyreek George angle, which uh, we kind of did not see coming, because we did expect him to go out on loan, but maybe not on a permanent deal. But Fabrizio Romano only a few months ago, as I'm recording this video, broke the story out. So that may be my next video. It depends on just the situation and just the developments I see during the day before recording the video. But that might be the next video, and I might, do the Heto one after that. So do watch out for them. But in this video, I wanted to talk to you about the Garnacho situationship, just as I said. So this video, I want to talk to you about, clearly there's, the way Fabrizio Romano keeps reminding us Chelsea fans and the United fans about this. Fabrizio Romano is clearly getting some sort of commission or something like that, because he keeps reminding us, that this is happening. It's also the kind of way that Chelsea this ownership, its style is to brief you in such a way, because it pushes out these stories through some of these contacts. So it's their way to prepare you that this is happening, right? They did it through Matlow. They have done through Fabrizio Romano. It's Simmons, and I think, I think these three people who are trustable at the level of Chelsea are, pushing out these stories. So this is very much Chelsea hierarchy letting you know we are getting this player. There's a very real possibility we might get this player. So prepare yourself. Now, for those that are in doubt that this has any bearing on the Xavi Simmons deal, it doesn't. Okay, there are, because I know there is an angle there that because United are going for Shesko, it does affect the Simmons deal maybe in that way. Now, so this is part of the reason I wanted to go in this video, because there are some angles which you kind of need to, and you need a whole video for this. So I wanted to explore this in this video. So the thing is that RB Leipzig, for those of you who do not know, the RB group. So you have a couple of clubs there. I think there's RB Leipzig, there's Salzburg, there's also RB New York Bulls. I think there might be one or two other clubs, but this is based majorly it. And what has happened here is RB Leipzig, because they were really bad in the Champions League last season. I think they won one game or something like that. They lost every game, and because they did not finish in the top four in Bundesliga. So I think it was Bayern, Leverkusen, Eintracht Frankfurt, and Dortmund who finished top four, right? Uh, or it might be fourth. I think Dortmund finished fourth. So the situation is they have to sell one of Simmons and Chesko, right? So they do have to sell. There is a very good chance that both of these players might leave, and basically the situation is that there is a slide of RB Leipzig are going to dig their heels a bit if one deal gets completed before the other. So this is where I get where some Chelsea fans are panicking. But I think this deal is going to get done much before Shesko deal is thought through. I think Chelsea are speeding up the deal. There was a slight brief before that Chelsea were yeah, so there was a slight brief before that Chelsea were working on some outgoings, and that is partially the truth. So we have sold Broya, we have done Magu on loan. Nkunku may be going to Inter Milan, as I told you in the last video. Um, so there are a number of things which are going on. There's also Raheem Sterling. Chilwell apparently has had some interest from Burnley, so I hope that happens. But more on the matter at hand, that we were maybe making some space, and there's also down story of Tariq George maybe going the other way, because there were discussions about Carney Chukwuemeka and Amando Broya as well. So Amando Broya has gone to Burnley now. He's done his medical, I think, or he's about to, or sign the deal. And Gyu, I think, went today or just yesterday or something like that to do his medicals. And Sunderland looks like he's going to be one of the main guys there in terms of strikers. So Openda deal, despite some of the reports, there is no truth to it. So it does look like, and it did look like Garnacho Romano might be going the other way earlier, but his preference seems to be Borussia Dortmund. Whether that happens or whether we find some other deal for Carney, that remains to be seen. But what I feel is that maybe Tariq George is going the other way, and Simmons comes here. Now I will talk about that, the Tariq George angle a bit more, maybe in the upcoming video, because that needs to be explored a bit on a separate level, right? So this is and this is not a discussion about Simmons and Tariq George. This is a discussion about Garnacho, right? So just wanted to broaden the scale before we focused on Garnacho. So that might be happening, and I just wanted to let you know that since it does, and it doesn't have any hampering on the Garnacho deal. So it's more about first we get the Simmons deal done any way we can, whether it's Tariq George or Garnacho Romano or straightforward cash going on. And once that is done, what is going to happen likely is there are going to be further outgoings, right? So there are going to be outgoings in terms of just let me re up my screen. So Like Romano says that personal terms are done here, nothing is imminent. But I think what's going to happen is Chelsea is going to take some time. So she does says that we're going to focus on outgoings and Xavi, right? And this is a brief given by the club to Romano. Okay, so as I told you in last few videos as well, in which I discussed about Jackson and Garnacho situation. So as I said, so once we get the Xavi Simmons deal done, and I do expect it done within the next 48 hours. That is my opinion, and let's see how on the point it is. But I do think in the next 48 hours that will be done. Because we also had Simmons, doing the story thing. It looks eminent. It looks like that RB Leipzig are waiting for Chelsea to make a formal offer, and when that formal offer is done, I think the transaction will happen, the deal will happen. So once the Simmons deal happen, what is going to happen is we are going to start focusing on the outgoings. We're not going to go to Manchester United. We're not going to Fabrizio Romano just like he has done. He's going to keep on peddling this Garnacho stuff again and again, irritating Man United fans insanely. I mean, I had gone through some of these accounts when United fans have got their limit. Some of them are that delusional, but I will be coming to that in a bit. But what's going to happen is we're going to start focusing on on-guard goings. People like Chilwell, Sterling, Garnacho Jamaica, Oguchuku, Leslie Oguchuku, the guy we loaned to Southampton last season. Defensive midfielder, and there's this Sassi, um, and anyone else I'm forgetting. I'm not sure. I think these are the six players that I see. I know there's Shrewsbury Hall, but he's, as I said, in a different case, in a different scenario. We'll only sell him if a good deal comes through. But these six players are definitely out of the project, apart from the ones we have sold. So, and there's, of course, the Tyrese George situation developing. We might sell him. So, let's see what happens there. So, we're going to focus on those outgoings. And what will happen is likely that one or two things will happen right now in the next few weeks with this United and Newcastle saga of Shesko. Will he? Won't he? And this thing happening because what seems to me because what's going and I will tell you why I'm discussing this because it does impact the Garnacho deal, right? So that is why this is a whole separate video. So the reason I'm talking about the Shesko situation, Shesko saga, is because Newcastle and United are going for him, and both clubs are desperate. They're doing kind of hail mary because they have had terrible windows. Newcastle even more terrible than United. United at least have had some success with the Membrano and Cunha deals, right? But Newcastle fans had a complete nightmare up till now, especially with the Isaac thing going on in the background. So what's happening is that both of these clubs are going for Hail Mary. Uh, just it's just not the clubs; it's the whole fan base. If you look at the accounts and the fan bases, I went through the Newcastle stuff and the Manchester United stuff. Both fan bases are extremely frustrated, right? I mean, the back and forth of stories which is going through influencer accounts and the fan accounts. That's funny for me personally, uh, but you can see and feel the frustration that is there. Um, so what's going to happen? Newcastle's strategy has been and is in this case that they will go over the top with money and hope the deal gets done, right? um, and it does benefit RB Leipzig if over the top deal Newcastle go through, and United's game is something like that. We will, try and agree personal term with Shesko, and then we're going to somehow force RB Leipzig to agree on our terms. Now that both strategies are somewhat, I would say, have their own issues with it, because Newcastle's strategy is just to strong arm Shesko in some way, and United strategy seems to be to strong arm RB Leipzig, because I think neither of the two clubs really have that sort of capital to, go after multiple signings. And for Newcastle, frustratingly, since they do not have any access beyond if they are successful with Shesko, they're not getting anyone in unless they are getting rid of Isaac. Now, if United get Shesko somehow, right, it will be at least 75 million euros, which is about 69 million pounds or something like that. Plus, there will be multiple add ons, so I think 10 million at least will be add ons and sell on clauses. So the deal will look like 85 19 million euros in total. Schwarzesco, who had 15 goals last season, so it's like a version on Jackson or something, or Werner. But that's, for another time, another video, and maybe another channel. So, if United for some reason do get Shesko, they need to sell. And so far, you United fans, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not sold anyone. You haven't sold anyone. You have gotten rid of Rashford for a loan, you know. And there's no guarantee Barcelona will go again for him, and he will get to go again for him. And Barcelona normally do not have cash; they do have cash problems. So even if there is a permanent deal next season, which will be next season, you're not going to get 40 million. I expect something around 25, 30 million at best for him. At best. Then you have been unable to get rid of Sancho, Anthony. Who else am I forgetting? So you have Rasmus Højlund there. You have number of other players along with Garnacho, right? Now I kept hearing from United accounts, so we are not going to sell Garnacho. 70 million, 50 million at least. Chelsea do not need to go for 50 million, 70 million. Chelsea are not going to go for it. If any deal is going to happen for Garnacho, it's going to be somewhere in the region of 25 to 35 million. It's not going to be anything more than that, because Garnacho, I think Romano said in his one of his briefings as well, is seen as not a necessary signing, it's an opportunity signing, right? So Chelsea's view is that personal terms are not going to be issued, and from what I understand, they might already been agreed on the player side. Background checks have been done. What Chelsea see is that 25 to 35 million. If we can get a deal here, then we take it and then we sign him. If it works out, great. He sets a world on fire, and we have a great Argentinian player. He's marketable, he's young, and he can make impact, so we'll have him. And if it doesn't work out, in 1 or 2 seasons, we'll just sell him for profit. That's Chelsea's view. And what they're going to do is, first they're going to do Simmons, then they're going to take their time then they're going to do multiple outgoings, right? And in the last week or in the last hours, that is when Chelsea will go in for Garnacho. United are not going to like it, but if they have signed Shesko, right? Or even if they do not sign Shesko, they need to sell in order to buy. And Romano, in one of his briefings, said, they want a striker, they want a midfielder, they need a goalkeeper. How are you getting these players? You cannot, you have limited amount to spend, and most of it you have already invested in Mbeno and Cunha, and that is why you have not part of the reason United have this strategy with Shesko of wanting the player to come to them, and then and Strom are arming RB Leipzig is because they do not have that sort of capital that RB Leipzig are asking for. It's not because of that's their strategy. It's also because they do not have that capital, despite what United fans might think or say. They do not have the capital. Otherwise, they would have gone for the players strongly, much more strongly than they are going. Right. So and that's also part of the reason why you have Rasmus Højlund stories coming out that they're willing to accept 30 million pounds or something like that, because they're thinking maybe we send Højlund maybe the other way or something like that. And even United influencers or YouTubers are saying the same thing. It's just not me. I'm just analyzing situation based on uh, verified sources like the Athletic, right, Fabrizio Romano, and like David Ornstein, saying about what the situation is, and this is what the situation is. So the situation is that Chelsea know if they wait long enough, and if they go either in the last week or in the last hours of the transfer window, United will be in desperate situation because they want to sell Anthony to Saudis. Anthony doesn't want to go to the Saudi. He wants to go to Real Betis. But Nacho, they're trying to sell to some European or something like that. He wants Chelsea. And Aston Villa do not might be interested in Garnacho, but they do not have the capital to push through for Garnacho. Otherwise, they will have problems with UEFA because they have not sold anyone, and that's why there are no incomings there. So, you know, Sancho again. There are stories about him with Dortmund. Earlier, there were stories about him with I don't know, Juventus or something. And again, if Dortmund do come, they're going to lowball you. So you're not making any money out of these players. So you have to then maybe collectively sell them and have enough money to at least make one signing of the midfielder, striker, and goalkeeper that you're talking about. So you can't do that without having any outgoings. And if you, let's say, go with one of the theories that Amarin came in recently out with this statement that United are not going, if Garnacho thinks that he's going to be sold for less than his value or something like that, uh, then he should rethink his strategy, something like that. So so I got two things for Amarin. I mean, first of all, he finished 15th, so I'm not sure what he's smoking on. That should not be his concern. What Garnacho is doing and not doing, because he's the one who drove his value down in the first place, right? If you're looking for someone to blame of who's bringing someone's value down, your player's value down, it's you. You are the one that put him in bench. You're the one that's saying that you have no future in United. Why anyone will play 70 million for you? Why anyone will play 50 million for you, right? It doesn't make any sense. Uh, it doesn't make any sense for someone to overpay. And Garnacho has had a pretty terrible season along with the rest of the United team. If you look at its stats, it's not that great. So no one is going to pay 70 million, no one's going to pay 50 million, no one is going to pay 40 million. 25, 35 million is where he's at right now. He might be a 50 million player, okay, but 25 to 35 million is what someone is going to pay right now, because that is what you value and brought. And if, let's say, you put him in reserves and you do not let him train or this or that, you do that to him because apparently you can afford the wages, which is what a lot of United fans think of doing something like that, then you're not even getting what you're getting right now. You're not even getting 25, 35 million right now. Then you're getting somewhere between 15 to 20 million and maybe less than that. And any player you want to then go in and sign is going to look at this situation and going to say, wow, so if it doesn't work for me and the coach for some reason is not a big fan of me, this is what you're going to do to me. So that those are the kind of situations that United are tumbling in, and that is why Chelsea see this situation and understand this situation. And United, whether their fans like it or not, and whether no matter how delusional United hierarchy is, they understand the situation as well. So what's going to happen is United are going to keep on lowering the stance. In January, the stance was 70 million or nothing. Now it's 50 million. And I'm telling you, in 4 weeks, it's going to be 40. In 2 weeks, it's going to reduce to 40 million. And Chelsea then, in the last week and the last hours, will go in and they will do one of two things. I think it's going to be Sancho's-esque situation in which they're going to say 25 million, and you can write this down if you like and see if the prediction is true. uh, 9 out of 10, 9 times out of 10 I think it will be right. So 25 million for a permanent deal, like, and 35 million with loan to option to buy. So what they're going to do is put United in a very interesting situation. They can either take 25 million guaranteed fee. Okay, there's a scenario which I really think is going to happen, um, and or you can get more, 10 million more, but it's going to be with loan with option with no guarantees that we are going to take the player. Should we not like him or should he not be up to Chelsea standards? And it's going to be a take it or leave it offer for United, because Garnacho knows this, United know that, and Chelsea know that, and Fabrizio Romano knows this. This is what situation is going to develop, especially if they do sign Shesko, and if they do have any ambition to bring any player during this transfer window, they have to sell. They have to sell. So they collectively might have to take L's in all of these deals. Sancho, Garnacho, they already taken one in Rashford, and um, who else is left? Anthony. Yeah. So they might have to take L's on all of them, and maybe bring in one player. I think that's what's likely to happen. So this so let me know. So this is what I really think will happen, and you can see in Fabrizio Romano's tweets the way he's briefing. Timing of the deal not expected to be imminent, can take some time as Chelsea's are focused on outgoings and Xavi. And he also said price is key here in one of the other tweets, right? So the price is key is the one that I'm focusing on, timing and price. And the reason Chelsea are briefing Romano with this, and Romano is going to keep reminding us, irritating a lot more United fans than Chelsea fans, is because Chelsea wants to create this pressure on United that they're going to have to take this deal. It's just about creating the right pressure at the right time and then making the deal happen. That is what Chelsea are doing. Okay, and Chelsea are do know how to get their way. United, do not have, despite, fans can take a look at it objectively, because you can have people like Mark Goldbridge, who's who said something like, he can see what is happening here at United Stand, that Garnacho is doing this and Chelsea are doing this, and he was like, 40 million, maybe I'll take it. But even he understands that this is happening. In the last hours, in the last week, Chelsea are coming, and these are the kind of deals what is going to happen. and ultimately United will be forced to take these deals, because if they do not, then obviously they will suffer in the long run, because they cannot get any player in, and the more they mistreat these players, the more the message is going to go to some other players that they want to recruit. Look, if it doesn't work out, this is what happens to you. You really want to go to Manchester United at this point in time. And that is why, this might also be playing on Cesco's head as well. Because there are reports that, apparently Jurgen Klopp went on and advised, um, basically Cesco, that Newcastle will be a much better opportunity for him compared to United. So you really have to, well, we really have to wait and watch and see this space. But I'm sure that this is the more likely scenario of what develops in the coming weeks. So let's watch this space, and in the next video, as I said, I will do one, Hato signing, or maybe the Simmons and Garnacho Romano and Tariq George angle. There's also front of shirt sponsorship, which I hinted in the last video towards the end that this might be happening, and there are now more stories about it. So it was a bit on point. So I will also be doing that. So yeah, watch out for those videos, and see you guys until the next video. And if you do like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon. We are a young channel, as I said. We need all the love and support we can get. So please do that, and I'm sure you will love the content once you get it. I will give it a shot. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then,